My dog won't let me pee alone. I'm dead serious. Every single time I stand up from the couch, he stands up. I walk toward the hallway. He's already behind me. I close the bathroom door, and I can literally hear him just sitting there, right outside, waiting. Sometimes I see his little paws under the door gap, just waiting. And for the longest time I laughed it off. I told people, oh, he's just a little clingy. That's just how he is. He's a big goofy golden retriever, what do you expect? But then one night I started actually thinking about it. Like, why does he do this? Every single time. Without fail. Rain or shine. Good day or bad day. Doesn't matter. The second I move, he moves. So I went down a rabbit hole. Started reading studies. Started watching researchers talk about dog behavior. And what I found honestly kind of blew my mind.
Hey, buddy.
Because what my dog is doing every time he follows me, it's not clinginess. It's not habit. It's not him being weird or needy or overly attached in some unhealthy way. What he's doing is one of the most deeply rooted psychological responses that exists in mammals.
I missed you so much.
And once I understood it, I stopped seeing him as clingy. I started seeing him as loyal on a level that most humans will never fully be. So let's start at the beginning. There's this thing called attachment theory. Most people have heard of it in the context of human relationships. It was developed by a British psychologist named John Bowlby. And the basic idea is this. Every mammal is born with a built-in psychological need to attach to a safe figure. Not just for food. Not just for warmth. But for emotional security. Bowlby called it the safe base concept. The idea is that when you have a secure attachment figure in your life, you feel safe enough to go out and explore the world. You can handle stress. You can bounce back from fear. Because somewhere in the back of your brain you know, my safe person is there. I can always go back. And when that safe person disappears, even temporarily, the attachment system kicks into overdrive. Anxiety goes up. Stress hormones spike. The brain starts scanning for that person constantly. Now, for decades this was studied in human babies. Then in primates. Researchers assumed it was mostly a primate thing. Something that evolved in species with long developmental periods and complex social structures. Then they started studying dogs. And everything changed. In 2013, a team of researchers in Budapest ran one of the most important dog behavior studies ever done. They used something called the strange situation test. This test was originally created to measure attachment in human infants. The setup is pretty simple. You put the subject in a room with their primary caregiver. A stranger enters the room. Then the caregiver leaves. Then the caregiver comes back. And you watch how the subject responds to each part. In human babies, the results are very predictable. When the caregiver leaves, distress goes up. Exploration goes down. The baby focuses almost entirely on the door the caregiver walked out of. When the caregiver comes back, the baby calms down almost immediately. Security is restored. When they ran this exact same test on dogs, the results were almost identical. Dogs showed significantly more distress when their owner left compared to when a stranger left. They explored less. They played less. They kept looking at the door. And when the owner came back, stress dropped almost immediately. They calmed down. They re-engaged with the environment.
Go check it out.
Just like a human child with their parent. The researchers concluded something that a lot of people in the scientific community weren't fully ready to accept at the time. Dogs don't just bond with humans out of dependency or food association. Dogs form genuine emotional attachments. The same kind. The same depth. The same psychological mechanics. Your dog isn't following you around because you have treats in your pocket. He's following you because his brain has classified you as his primary attachment figure. His safe base. The one presence that makes everything feel okay. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Your dog didn't attach to just anyone in your household equally. Studies show that dogs form what's called a primary attachment bond. One person. Usually the person who spends the most time with them. The person whose voice they hear most, whose smell is most familiar, whose energy they've learned to read. That person becomes the anchor. And once that bond forms, it is incredibly strong. Researchers describe it as functionally permanent under normal conditions. Meaning your dog doesn't wake up every morning and decide to be attached to you. The decision was made a long time ago, deep in his brain, and it doesn't get unmade. Think about that. Somewhere along the way, your dog looked at you, learned you, memorized you, and his brain said, that one? That's my person. And he never looked back. Now let's talk about what's actually happening chemically when your dog is near you. Because this is the part that really got me. There's a hormone called oxytocin. A lot of people know it as the love hormone or the bonding hormone. Humans release it during hugs, during moments of physical affection. Mothers release massive amounts of it when they hold their newborns for the first time. It's the chemical foundation of emotional bonding in mammals. Dogs have the exact same system. But here's the part that's genuinely wild.
Hold on one second.
A study published in Science magazine found that when a dog and their owner make eye contact, both of their oxytocin levels go up. Simultaneously. At the same time. Just from looking at each other. Not from touching. On a level that most people severely underestimate. They don't just notice when you're happy or sad. They pick up on micro changes in your body language. Tiny shifts in your posture. Changes in your breathing pattern. Even changes in your scent. Because human bodies actually do produce slightly different chemical signatures when we're stressed or anxious compared to when we're calm. Your dog is reading all of that. Constantly. And what he does with that information is remarkable. When you're stressed, he comes closer. When you're sad, he leans into you.
Go get some love,
when you're
boy.
sick and lying on the couch, he doesn't leave your
Time
side.
for a quick check-in, huh?
He's not doing
Good
that
boy.
because he was trained to. He's doing that because his attachment to you runs so deep that your emotional state directly affects his. When you feel bad, he feels it too. And his instinct is to close the distance. To be near his safe base. To offer his presence the same way you offer yours to him. And this brings me to the thing that I think about a lot now. We spend so much time worrying about whether we're good enough dog owners. Whether we walk them enough. Whether we feed them the right food. Whether we bought the right bed or the right toys. But what the research keeps coming back to is something so much simpler. Your dog doesn't need the perfect routine. He needs you. Your time. Your presence. Your attention. The moments where you sit on the floor with him for no reason. The times you talk to him even though you know he doesn't understand the words. The way you always say goodbye before you leave even though people think you're crazy for it. He feels all of that. And it builds something in him. Layer by layer. Day by day. It builds a sense of security so deep and so strong that it shapes his entire personality. His confidence. His happiness. His ability to handle the world. You are doing that. Just by being there. So the next time your dog follows you to the kitchen,